So guys, did you know there are Zords that were left out in Power Rangers? These Zords existed in their Super Sentai versions, but were not adapted into Power Rangers for various reasons. And it's not just one or two, there are actually quite a lot. So in the next 10 minutes, we're going to count the Zords that were never adapted in Power Rangers. As a note, we'll be using the term Zord instead of Mecha. So, let's go. Radiaakar Robo, Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger. This Zord has an unusual and slightly odd design, but that's actually normal for this season since Car Ranger is a cheerful, comedic and full of parodies. Radiaakar Robo is owned by Radiaakar Fanbelt, the white racer who wasn't adapted into Power Rangers Turbo either. Well, she's really just a parody of magical girl anime, like Sailor Moon. Radiaakar Robo made its debut in episode 30 and only showed up 4 times in the entire season. And it's clearly referencing one of the biggest tokusatsu, Ultraman. When it transforms into its giant humanoid robo, it strikes Ultraman's iconic rise pose, and it can only fight for 1 minute before reverting back to its car form. This Zord was not adapted for several reasons, such as the limited footage available, budget-saving measures, and its lack of relevance to the overall concept of Power Rangers Turbo. Moreover, this Zord was merely a parody and wasn't really suited for American audiences at the time. Gao Kong, Hyakuju Sentai Gao Ranger. Gao Kong is basically just a recolored version of Gao Gorilla. Instead of green, he's bright red. Despite the different color, Gao Kong still forms the same body parts. When combined with other Zords, he forms the chest and head. We never see this Zord appear in any episode of Power Rangers Wild Force, because it only shows up once in the Gao Ranger movie, The Fire Mountain Roars. In that movie, Gao Kong forms the Gao Knight formation, together with Gao Bison, Shark, Tiger and Eagle, with Gao Elephant as its weapon. Gao Knight is themed around a medieval knight. Its head design resembles a knight's helmet, and it wields a sword and shield. This formation never appeared in the Wild Force season, but Gao Knight, including Gao Kong, was still released as an exclusive toy under the name Ultimus Megazord. Blast Buggy, Tokuso Sentai Deca Ranger. Blast Buggy appears exclusively in the Deca Ranger movie Full Blast Action and never shows up in the main Deca Ranger series. Exclusive Zords are usually unique and rare, but this one is absolutely different. It's described as a common Zord that exists in large numbers across the universe. However, the Blast Buggy that appears is the only remaining Deca vehicles from the SPD base on planet Leslie. It's piloted by Deca Break, the White Ranger, and it can combine with the Earth Branch Deca Ranger Robo to form new chest armor, shield and weapons in a formation called Deca Ranger Robo Full Blast Custom. Although it was never adapted into the Power Rangers SPD series, this Zord was still released as an exclusive toy for Power Rangers SPD toy line. It was also brought into the game version, but interestingly, Blast Buggy is identified as Cat Ranger's Zord. Engine Dai Shogun, Engine Sentai Go Onger. Engine Dai Shogun is an alternate version of Engine O, so it's themed after a samurai complete with its signature sword. It's also made up of 3 Zords, including Engine Retsutaka, Engine Shishi no Shin, and Engine Tsuki no Wa. That makes sense because in the movie, it's explained that Engine Dai Shogun come from the samurai world. Engine Dai Shogun first appeared in the Go Onger movie, which came out in August 2008. Interestingly, it showed up again in episode 40 of the TV series, which aired 2 months later in November 2008. Even though it's part of the main Go Onger storyline, Engine Dai Shogun was never adapted into any episode of Power Rangers RPM. But the toy version of Engine Dai Shogun was still released under the name Engine Shogun Megazord, including the Micro Zord version for the UK and Bandai Asia regions. Power Rangers Megaforce only had 20 episodes, so they had to cut a lot of things in Tenso Sentai Gosija, including some Zords which ended up creating a few plot holes. One example is Data's Hyper. Data's Hyper is the Ranger's assistant, and he's actually an essential part of the Hyper Gosei Great Formation. Interestingly, Hyper Gosei Great Formation was adapted into Ultra Gosei Great Megazord in Power Rangers Megaforce, and in Episode 7, you can clearly see the Data's Hyper at the back of the Ultra Gosei Great Megazord formation. So Data's Hyper was never adapted, but it suddenly became part of the formation without any explanation. In addition, there are the Exotic Brothers and Mystic Brothers, which were completely left out of Power Rangers Megaforce. The Exotic Brothers are 4 recolored versions of Dragon Headers and showed up only once in Episode 8 of Goseiger. Because they had so little screen time, it's no surprise that Saban decided to skip that episode entirely. Likewise with Mystic Brothers. Mystic Brothers appeared 6 times in Goseiger, and even had their own formation for Gosei Great and Data's Hyper. However, as we know, this Zord was also simply abandoned. This season has indeed drawn a lot of criticism from fans, one of which is that particular issue. Otomonin Dinomaru, Shuriken Sentai Ninja. Yep, there's a dinosaur Zord in the ninja-themed season. Otomonin Dinomaru is basically just a redesigned version of Paonmaru. When combined with the main Robo, Dinomaru forms the same parts, including the chest armor and the weapon. Dinomaru appeared 3 times in the Ninja movie and never appeared even once in the TV series. It was never adapted into Power Rangers Ninja Steel, even though footage from some of those movies was used in the special episode, Dimensions in Danger. Dinomaru also never got a toy release. They just skipped it completely. Honestly, that feels like a waste, especially since dinosaurs have always been a big deal in Power Rangers. But what do you guys think? FS0 Tokume Sentai Go Buster. FS0 is an additional Buster vehicle created by Masato Jin, the Beat Buster. This Zord is actually still in the prototype stage as one of the first generation of Buster vehicles. Its main form is a frog, with an alternate form as a submarine. This is also explained in its name, FS0. FS stands for Frog Submarine, while the letter O following the 0 in 0 serves as an additional 0 to indicate that FS0 is a prototype Zord. This Zord made a brief appearances in Go Busters, showing up just 3 times, twice in the movies and once in the TV series. Due to the limited footage in the TV series, this Zord was also not adapted for Power Rangers Beast Morphers, and no exclusive toy was released for this Zord. Kishir Yuzen, Kishiryu Sentai Ryu Soldier. Kishir Yuzen is made up of 2 core Zords, Dynamigo and Cobrago. Dynamigo works pretty much like Tiramigo, but with a few differences like the drills and a smaller weapon. Kishir Yuzen is piloted by Valma, the first warrior to wear the Gaisul armor. Kishir Yuzen appeared once in the Ryo Soldier movie, where its screen time was also very short. Unfortunately, Kishir Yuzen never made it into Power Rangers Dino Fury, and it didn't show up again in any other Ryo Soldier movies or series, because by the end of the movie it appears in, Kishir Yuzen gets destroyed and literally turns to dust. It's kind of a shame, honestly. The design was awesome, but it ended up being a one-time thing. Definitely a cool Zord while it lasted. In the final segment, we have several Zords that were not adapted into Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Essentially, Cosmic Fury adapted the Q Ranger season, but only in terms of the Zords. Because Cosmic Fury only had 10 episodes, they weren't able to adapt all the available Zords. In fact, only 11 Zords were actually adapted. And now, let's count the ones they left out. First is Ho-Oh Voyager, a rocket-themed Zord based on a Phoenix. Since it's a rocket, it comes with its accessories, Ho-Oh Base and Ho-Oh Station. It's the personal Zord of Ho-Oh Soldier and serves as the main component in the ultimate Robo combination. Next is Orion Battler, formed from the Orion Voyager and Orion Battleship. It is a general use Zord, so anyone can pilot it. Orion Battler appeared 11 times, including as part of the Orion Bazooka formation. Then there's Kojishi Voyager, a lion-themed Zord that serves as an additional Voyager for Shishi Red in the Kojishi system. It's piloted by Shishi Red, Okami Blue, and Koguma Sky Blue, and serves as new armor and weapons in the Super Q Ren O formation. And lastly, Cerberus Voyager, a redesigned version of the Shishi Voyager. It has 2 additional heads on the left and right sides. It's based on the original mythological Cerberus, the 3-headed dog. Cerberus Voyager only appeared once in the Q Ranger movie in 2017. So, there are 4 Zords that were not adapted for the Cosmic Fury season, 3 of which came from the original series. As mentioned earlier, one of the reasons they were left out was the limited number of episodes in Cosmic Fury. Furthermore, no toys were released for any of the Zords mentioned above. So, that's it guys. One more reason why some of those awesome Zords from the movies never showed up in Power Rangers is because they didn't have the rights to use the movie footage. Yup, Power Rangers almost never buys the license for Sentai movies, mainly because it costs extra, and honestly, those stories usually aren't that important to the main series. But what do you think guys? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next video.